Hot off the presses. I got it. The book finally arrived. The Kim Porter's book by Jamal. We're just going to say Jamal. Shocking and embarrassing. Let's get into it.
Ooh, you are listening to the Billy Flint Experience.
Thank you so much for joining me here. This is the Billy Flint Experience, and I am your host, Billy Flint, coming to you live here from Germany. Yes. We're going to get into this. The book. The Kim Porter's book, written by Jamal. Goes by the name of Jamal L. Millwood. But his real name is Todd. Chris Todd. Okay, we're going to get serious here. Again, thank you so much for joining me. And I have to say right now, there will be no, I'm not going to do that. I am not going to do that. There will be no giving away of this book. I'm not going to put my 2 cents in this. Well, actually I am, but I'm going to approach this from a different angle. The title of the show is the new Unauthorized book by Chris Todd. The Kim Porter story. We're going to call it that because that's exactly what it is. It is a story. And before we get further into the show, I have to say this. I want everyone to go out and get the book. Just get the book, regardless of what others are saying. They're saying that the book is fake. They're saying that it's untrue. Even Charlemagne, what is his name? Charlemagne the God gave Chris Todd Donkey of the Day. So, regardless of that and all of the other information of the people that are saying the book is really fake and it's not worth reading, I say I'm betting the other way. I would say get the book, whether you purchase it or you can even search the internet, as I did once I purchased the book. But you can search the internet and you can find the PDA on the internet where you can just download it and read it. And also, if you search YouTube at this moment, I don't know whether or not it's still up, there's a few content creators that has done a remarkable audiobook. Very impressive. So the information is out there if you care to research it. But I would definitely say, however you do it, whether you purchase it, whether you get it free off the internet, or whether you get the audiobook on YouTube, if you search it, research it, it's a must. I would say just do yourself a favor and just read it for yourself. Just get it for yourself, and you be the judge of this information. Now, to be honest with you, I'm taking a whole total different direction to the show. I had something else planned. I had something else that I want to talk about as far as the book is concerning, but I'm glad that I did a little bit more research. And as they say, never buy the product before you buy the seller. You buy the seller before you buy the product. So, who is this gentleman by the name of Chris Todd? And he, for some reason, he came up with this alias, Jamal. He had to pick, out of all the names that he chose, he picked Jamal. Jamal L. Millwood. And from other information that is out there, that it's supposed to have been the name or the alias that Tupac Shakur used. So I don't know what the connection of that is, but this gentleman is very interesting. But before I get into him, I want to play something. This is Chris Todd, actually. He was given an interview, and the thing is, I take it that he wanted to put this information out to give people a little bit something, I don't know, to explain the reasoning behind him writing this book. But we're gonna take a short listen. I want you to really pay attention to this.
A new book has come out. This self-published book on Amazon entitled Kim's Lost Words, A Journey for Justice from the Other Side. And it is doing incredibly well on Amazon. It is topping a lot of charts. It's allegedly a memoir from Porter herself detailing her relationship with Combs. But the thing about it is, it reportedly contains typos, shocking claims, inaccurate statements. And with that in mind, Kim Porter's children have released a statement. So this is from Quincy Brown, Christian, Jesse, Delilah Combs. They wrote in a joint statement. They posted it on Instagram Tuesday night. I want to read it for you. We have seen so many hurtful and false rumors circulating about our parents, Kim Porter and Sean Combs' relationship, as well as about our mom's tragic passing, that we feel the need to speak out. Claims that our mom wrote a book are simply untrue. She did not, and anyone claiming to have a manuscript is misrepresenting themselves. Additionally, please understand that any so-called friend speaking on behalf of our mom or her family is not a friend, nor do they have her best interest at heart. Our lives were shattered when we lost our mother. She was our world, and nothing has been the same since she passed. While it has been incredibly difficult to reconcile how she could be taken from us too soon, the cause of her death has long been established. There was no foul play. Grief is a lifelong process, and we ask that everyone respect our request for peace as we continue to cope with her loss every day. We are deeply saddened that the world has made a spectacle of what has been the most tragic event of our lives. Our mother should be remembered for the beautiful, strong, kind, and loving woman she was. Her memory should not be tainted by horrific conspiracy theories. We ask that everyone please respect our mother, Kim Porter, and hold her legacy in high regard so that she may rest in peace. It's what she deserves. We love you and miss you, Mommy, Quincy, Christian, Jesse, and Delilah. And just recently, even Combs authorized his attorney Erica Wolf to release a statement on his behalf regarding this new book, stating the Kim Porter memoir is fake. It is also offensive, a shameless attempt to profit from tragedy. Chris Todd, the author, has no respect for Miss Porter or her family, who deserve better. Unlike the fabrications in his sickening memoir, it is an established fact that Miss Porter died of natural causes. May she rest in peace. Now, when we say memoir, to be clear, there is no information verifying that Porter actually authorized these writings or authorized a book to be written by her at any point in time. Even the author, Chris Todd, can't confirm whether these are actually Porter's words or not, but he believes it's true, claiming that Porter herself created the information on a flash drive, which Todd says she gave to friends prior to her death. Again, her family and loved ones have denied this, but either way. So with that in mind, I sat down with this author, and he goes by the name Chris Todd, and he published this book under the pseudonym Jamal T. Millwood, seemingly in reference to a conspiracy regarding Tupac Shakur's death. So look, with all that in mind, I'm going to play you portions of this interview, and you can make your own judgments about what to take away from this. All right, Chris, thank you so much for coming on here on Sidebar. Happy to have you. So first, for anybody knows, how did you come about the Kim Porter story? How did you get these materials? How did you get involved in this?
Yeah, it's been a crazy journey. I appreciate you having me on today. Thank you so much. About 6 to 8 months ago, I found out through another person, kind of like a manager of mine, that there was possibly Kim Porter's flash drive. Also, there was talk of a iCloud or cloud and a password and things that were left behind by Kim Porter. At first, I didn't really know what to believe. Obviously, I know a lot about the story. And then through about a month or two, I got to personally meet somebody very close to these sources, let's say. Okay, there's a couple people involved. It's not just one person. And there was a celebrity source involved that was very close to Kim and Diddy. And so I kind of perked up a little bit, like, okay, I did a lot of research about the circles, and I was like, this could be true. This could be real. So I went down the rabbit hole and I investigated it to the best of my ability, quickly, as fast as I could. This is a big story. It's moving 1,000 miles an hour right now. And I do believe what I was given is real.
Can you share with us where this hard drive came from, how it was found, this flash drive, I should say? Where was it found? Or it just came out of...
Flash drive?
Yeah, where did it come from?
This flash drive was held onto for 5 years. This flash drive is from Kim Porter.
Any reason why it was held onto? I know you're not going to reveal the name of your source or where you got it from, but why? Can you tell us why it was held onto for so long?
I think these people were afraid.
Because what's the main theme? What's the main theme here?
In the book, or in the we're talking about the book, or are we talking about?
Yeah, what's the main theme of the book, and also your interpretation of why it was held onto? You said there was a concern there. Well, what's the main theme?
Through our PIs right now, we do have some evidence that Kim Porter may have been poisoned and murdered.
And we actually, before you came on, we did an earlier Sidebar episode where we had an expert on who said that it would be difficult to find a poison that would mask the symptoms of lobar pneumonia, that it wouldn't make sense to him that the findings from the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office would be incorrect. They're a very thorough group. Why would he be wrong?
I'm not saying he's wrong, but we need to listen to the people that are online, even these online sleuths, the bloggers. A lot of information comes out from this kind of community. And there's talk of toxins being in her system at first. It was called deferred at first, then it was changed.
But how do you separate people who always have conspiracy theories and rumors versus legitimate facts? I mean, you believe that there's something here. You said you did your independent research. How can you tell our viewers and our listeners that there's something more here legitimately and not just listening to the noise out there?
I'm really more focused on the book right now, on the memoir. As for investigating, doing the autopsy, looking at the autopsy close,
okay,
I'm open to that. Yeah, but mainly I'm focused on the memoir.
So let's talk about this. How do you know for sure it's her words? It's a memoir from her, because it's in typewritten, right? It's you would say that it was from a computer. How do you know it's from her?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I'm getting that asked all the time. I work a lot of cases. Okay, I claim to have solved the 2 most famous cold cases in history. Okay, I like to think I'm good at what I do. So when they came to me, and when I work with any whistleblower or source, I don't always believe them. I don't believe everything they say. I put them through my test, by my feel, my spirituality, forensics. There's a lot of things that I do. Dealing with the sources and the people that I've contacted closely, obviously it's a dark story. It's dangerous. I'm familiar with this. Whistleblowers and sources don't always tell you everything. They don't show you metadata. They don't show you things that are going to trace it directly to them. So, like I said in the Rolling Stone article and another one that's coming out today or tomorrow, if you put my feet to the fire and God asks me life or death, do you know it's 100% her flash drive? No, I do not. But based on my feel, I prayed on it, And I felt I was to take a leap of faith, so I came forward with it.
Some people would say, why publish it if you're not 100% sure?
Well, I also am an investigative producer, author. I'm a storyteller. A lot of my fans know me very well. And the media in Hollywood, a lot of times, they don't want the truth. So they do projects and stories and unscripted and scripted that are not always completely 100% true. I'm no different than them. I would like to turn this book into a movie or a series, and we're shopping that right now.
What, from reading these pages, what is your overall takeaway? If this is, in fact, Kim Porter's memoir, what is your takeaway from it?
It's disturbing. It's dark. It's sad. This is an abused woman telling her story. When I first read the whole thing, I only had a couple pages at first. Now, as for the tapes, I've been told that I can have access to the tapes.
What are the tapes? First, start there. What tapes are you talking about?
The big ones.
You're talking about sex tapes.
Yeah, but with very famous people.
Okay, so talk to us about what you were told about the tapes.
That if I pass the test, they trust me, I will be the one to do it.
Who's they?
The sources and the people around the community of Kim and Diddy.
And with all due respect, why wouldn't they bring that information to law enforcement? Why wouldn't they just drop it in, CNN's or ABC or any other news outlet's mailbox? Why come to you as opposed to law enforcement or another media organization?
If one of the people are underage in the sex tape, I have to, per my attorney, go to the FBI. I'm not going to comment right now if I'm in possession of the tapes or not, per my lawyer. So, but to answer your question, these people are scared. And what you're saying, like, well, if they just dropped it off at CNN or they just emailed it, that's not the appropriate way to do this.
Okay, well, I mean, look, you're in a very interesting position right now, and clearly a lot of people are very interested in what you've presented. But I mentioned this before, I'm going to mention this again. As you know, this has been met with criticism. Porter's family and friends say this memoir is a fake. Albie Shore says it's fabricated, that it's offensive. Reportedly also came out and said, quote, a significant suit headed right for the heads of the responsible parties who dragged my name into this. Porter's friends, Kimora Lee Simmons, LaWanda Lane, told Rolling Stone that they don't know you at all. Lane said every page in that book is false, that Porter wouldn't write a memoir, that she would never write a memoir, that she liked her life to be private. Rolling Stone also reported that a source close to the Combs family says the family is exploring all of their options and saying, quote, the baseless pages in the book not only misrepresent Miss Porter's lived experience and legacy, but also continue to cause unnecessary distress to her loved ones. And her children came out with a statement today on Instagram, which I read before. What's your reaction to all that?
We did $1 million in sales in 12 days. The people want the truth. There's people writing me from all over the world, thanking me. What you just said, I know I'm still reading this stuff. I can't even keep up with it right now. I've actually have to hire people to read the stuff. We have to think about who these people are talking about. They're possibly talking about the devil. So if they say it's not real, remember who's saying that. Okay? A lot of people believe it's real. A lot of African Americans believe it's real. They're telling me, they're calling me. I'm talking to all the bloggers and podcasters because I'm an open book. I talk to the little people. So my point is, I still am assessing what's being said by everybody close. I get it. But this is what happens just like on my other cases. Yeah, they said they didn't do it too. And it turned out to be I was right. So, like I said, this is going to play out. I can't say I'm 100% right this second, but I'm not pulling that book down. Under my First Amendment, my civil rights, I'm not pulling it down.
Are you prepared to potentially be sued over this?
Absolutely, I'm already prepared. And also, let's remember, Amazon, Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post. Okay? I'm sure he's for freedom of speech. and also some form of free press. I've been blocked and censored by the media for years, and I'm not going to bring it up. Everyone can do their own homework. It's not happening to me anymore.
So there was a quote from you in that Rolling Stone article where you say, if I'm so hot and my story and project's #1 on Amazon, where is everybody? Where's my agent? Where's CIA? The people I called for 12 years. I'm trying to explain to you this is not about Kim Porter. It's about Chris Todd. And I wonder if somebody could interpret that statement and say, you know, he's taking this and he's saying whatever he needs to say for fame and fortune. It's not about getting the real message out there. It's not about getting Kim Porter's story out there. It's about Chris Todd. What would your response be to that?
You know, I worked really hard to get to this point. And the other case that I did recently, that was supposed to happen like this. That was supposed to go viral, and it didn't. And that's up to God. I don't control that. Obviously, we're here at this moment, and it's probably the biggest scandal story in America right now. I feel that I just work hard, keep my heart and mind open, and I'm kind of guided spiritually. And I will say this, and I don't know how this will come off to people. I have many cases and many victims. My clients are mostly murdered victims or deceased victims. I am the voice of the voiceless. Right? Now, what I meant by saying like, well, that's not about Kim so much, it's about Chris Todd. That's to keep a little bit of a buffer for her. Okay? So that everyone's not so focused. And I know also the sources, they know that too. And I'm not stupid. Are these sources playing me a little bit? Maybe. But that's okay. If I have to go through some pain and hardship, if I have to go to court, it's not going to be my first time in court. And I put out a message to some of the people to get to the lawyers, be careful. Because remember, you're talking about Kim. It turns out that it's Kim's typos and they're her lies. Remember, you're talking about abused woman.
And would you be willing to submit these papers to an independent auditor of some kind or an independent agency to verify that it's, you know, her work? I don't know how they would be able to do it, but because it's not handwritten. But if there was a mechanism in place to independently verify it, would you do that?
I have some things I haven't released yet that can show very much more that this is really hers. I have to do it piece by piece, and also the sources are testing me a little, and they're trying to. We all agreed that we need to see what happens when the memoir comes out first. I have 2 pages from that flash drive that are endearing, they're heartfelt, they're actually done by someone else wanting to help Kim, and that really explains more of why this is happening, why they waited all these years, why they're using me. I mean, they're calling me a culture vulture and a parasite and a colonizer. I get it. I'm just telling you right now, God brought me to her, or God brought her to me. I'm sorry that I'm white.
Let me ask you this. So the timing of this, Sean Combs was arrested and indicted last week. The book then comes out. Well, actually, that's not true. The book has been out for how long?
This is what we're going to talk about, and this is going to be fascinating to you. And I also want you to bring up the name Jamal T. Millwood.
Putting that to the side for a second, I wanted to ask you this.
Okay, the book was published September 6th.
Okay, the book was published September 6th.
Sean Combs was arrested later. He wasn't.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was going to be arrested. That's what people are trying. They're confused about. They're thinking this is, oh, Diddy did this. And they're saying, well, I didn't have some inside source that he's going to be arrested. I'm not the FBI.
Right.
CIA agent. Okay. So I took a leap of faith. Now, at that point, when it started to come out, it was kind of quiet until they did an article about me, which I'm grateful for. Then things exploded quickly. Okay. I would have put my name on the book if Sean Combs was actually in a jail cell. He wasn't. Okay. So it's cryptic. And that's why the book says for Kimberly Porter, not by. I can't say by her. That I have some issues legally with that. So my point is, September 6th, it comes out. It's a leap of faith. It catches fire. He goes, okay, cool. I didn't know he was going to be arrested. So the timing, maybe there's some more spiritual element involved here.
Has law enforcement gotten in touch with you after this book became so public? The book became published and these allegations came out, or not even allegations, the words that you published. Has the law enforcement reached out to you?
I cannot comment on that.
Okay. So, Chris, before we finish up, what do you want people to take away from this? And again, because you're in this very interesting position, what are you hoping people take away from this, and what can they expect within the next 6 months?
I want people to hear and feel Kim's voice. So that I didn't write that book. None of it. I edited some of it. I moved some formatting around to help her punch at the end of the chapters. I put the disclaimer in. I X'd out certain people. They didn't want me to. They wanted to burn the forest down. I X'd out a couple people and situations, and I removed the photos also from the book. I am going to release the photos probably today. As to what happens...
What photos? What photos do you mean?
There's photos in there that no one's ever seen that are from the flash drive.
Can you give us any clue about what those are?
I released the Kim Porter abuse photo, we call it, where I had sent it to reporters with blue on her face, like blurred out. That was released by the Daily Mail. You can see it there. No one has that photo. No one ever saw it. They only have a one-time use for it. So I'm going to give that possibly to other outlets. I have other photos with Sean Diddy Combs with famous music executives. I have them doing some things. There's no nudity. It's not sexual. What I'm saying is they're pictures of him that tell a story. And so nobody ever saw these pictures. So the sources wanted me to reveal them, but I wanted just Kim's voice to be heard first and just for her to talk to the audience. But now that, the lawyer for Sean Combs, one of them, is using words against me and saying things, I'm now going to start releasing things. It's my turn to fight back.
Let me just end on this. In terms of your research into Kim Porter, you said you looked into this. I'm sure you got a great understanding of who she is. You hear her family saying she was a private person, would never write a memoir. Do you disagree with that, in the sense that maybe whatever was handed to you was written by somebody else to get this narrative out? So back to the overall question of how you think this comes from Kim Porter. Do you think she really was the kind of person that would write something like this to get it out there, or not?
I do. And I've dealt with a lot of victims on cases, and if her death had mysterious circumstances and she's coughing up blood at her Toluca Lake house, there's some suspicious things about her body being moved and where the evidence is. Look at what she's saying that he did to her. Okay, he's threatened her many times. So, and now the thing too, look, if I was saying this about some kind of halfway criminal, we're talking about Sean Holmes. Think about that. So I'm all for it. I will fight for her. And if somebody proves to me that it's fake, albeit, prove it.
Okay, there you have it. Mr. Chris Todd. Or Jamal L. Millwood, the so-called author of the new Kim Porter's book, Unauthorized. We have to keep saying that. It is unauthorized, unverified, I would even say. I would even say that this gentleman, if that's what you want to call him, he is the Jaguar right. The new Jaguar right. Because anything that okay. Again, I am not going to do any spoiler alerts on this book. I want everyone to actually research this information themselves and come to their own conclusion. The reason that I provided this audio of Chris Todd is just so you can hear his voice, so you can hear what he is saying pertaining to the reasoning behind him producing this book. And as I said before, you buy the seller before you buy the product. And I'll leave that at that. This book, what I have to say, it's a short read. It's only about 60 pages. 19 chapters, and each chapter, I guess, is about maybe 2 or 3 paragraphs. It's really not a long book. You can read this book within 15-20 minutes on your lunch break, cigarette break, sitting in traffic at the red light. You can read this book. It's not really that in depth, and most of the information in the book is, I'll put it to you this way, it's already information that we've heard over the past years. The allegations, these conspiracy theories. It's a good read. It's entertaining. I'm not going to take away from the book. It is entertaining to read. It's very interesting. It's embarrassing and shocking. And the reason that I say it's embarrassing and shocking is because some of the allegations, I mean, I don't know. Again, I'm not going to give the book away. I'm not going to do any spoiler alerts. I want everyone to get a hold of it. However you get a hold of this book, whether it's on Amazon, because I know it's on Amazon. That's where I ordered it. It took me a while to actually get it because of the fact that I'm here in Germany. In Germany, just their Amazon, I don't know, for whatever reasons, they didn't have the book. So I had to go through many different avenues and search deep within Amazon, and I actually found it. So I had to wait. I didn't want to say anything about the book. I wanted to wait and read it for myself, so I would have the information for myself and not listening to what other content creators are saying about it. I think that's very important to anyone. Instead of listening to what these content creators are providing for the listeners on YouTube, especially on YouTube, I would say do your own research first before you listen to anyone, because it seems as though these content creators are out to put anything on YouTube for views, for likes, for clicks, no matter how false or misinformation that they provide, they still do it. And it causes a lot of damage as far as the truth is concerned. And I think we all are seeking somewhat of a truth. I guess we're all in it for the entertainment aspect of it, but still, what I tend to do, what I want to do with my platform is that I want to at least research the information before I bring it to the public. I don't want to be one of those content creators that putting out information just for the sake of putting out information and not doing the proper research. I don't know, call it old school journalism, and not sensationalizing information just for views and likes. I don't know. But again, like I said, this book is a very short read. You can get it from Amazon or search on the internet. You can find the PDA. You can find this. You can find it on the internet where you can download it. So you can find the PDF on, I don't know what, PDA. You can find a PDF on, I guess because I'm tired. It's late here in Germany, so You can find it on the internet, or again, search on YouTube, and I'm pretty much sure you can find the audiobook, because there's plenty of audiobooks that is listed on YouTube. Now, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this. And as I said before, you buy the seller before you buy the product. So who is this Chris Todd individual? He is a self-appointed investigator, as he called himself, an investigator and a producer. He does have many books that is listed actually on Amazon. Interestingly enough, I found his other books, but I couldn't find the Kim Porter book. And maybe that's the reason why, because he doesn't go by the name of Chris. And I don't even know if Chris Todd is his real name, but because there is no Wikipedia page. So there's really not much to as far as investigating. But from what I found is that he's based in LA. He's done, and I think I would call him what is referred to as an ambulance chaser. He's an individual that kind of attach himself to high profile cases, whether they're solved or unsolved, and he kinds of build a narrative around that to garner some type of attention. So he writes these books. One of the main books that he had written, it's about the Ron Goldman, of course, the O.J. Simpson and Nicole Brown situation that took place back in the early 90s. The unaliving of Nicole Simpson Brown and Ronald Goldman. Okay, so he put together this book about Ron Goldman, and he I think that's where he got most of his notoriety from, because that is a hot topic. And also he's dabbled in the conspiracy behind Kurt Cobain's unaliving. Those who remember Kurt Cobain was the lead singer of Nirvana, and he, again, if you research on YouTube, a lot of this information to come up where he attached himself to that, and also the interestingly enough, the Biggie and Tupac unsolved unaliving. He's also kind of attached himself to that, and he's garnered a lot of attention based on his, I don't want to say lack of investigation skills, but he has gathered a lot of traction based on these hot topics. So this is the Chris Todd that's behind the unauthorized writing of the Kim Porters. And you can't say it's a memoir, because it's not a memoir. The book reads like it's, again, like he's pretty much taken pieces from almost each decade, or from other people's gathering of misinformation, and he kind of compiled it into just this book. So when I got the book, I was kind of like surprised. That's where the surprise part comes in. When the book finally arrived, I noticed it was a very small, thin 60-page book. I'm like, what is this? I was expecting something like really a thick paperback. It's a very thin, very small. And again, like I said, it's 19 chapters. And within each chapter, there's like maybe 2 to 3 paragraphs. So that, again, should let you know that it's not really anything that's in depth, but it is a good reading because there is the way that it's formulated. It does make it seem like this is information that Kim Porter, when she was alive, was kind of putting or kind of putting her thoughts down like in a diary. So the book reads like a diary. There is really no timestamps or dates, but it reads like a diary. And I'll leave you with that. And of course, it brings up names. And it's going to be very interesting that the names that he puts in this book, it's going to be very interesting how it plays out, because there are some very prominent individuals that he makes these allegations that were involved in these extramarital affairs and trading of partners. Okay, so it goes far beyond the so-called Diddy freak-offs. But again, it is very entertaining to read. You get a good laugh out of it. I will tell you that much. Some of the information in it is it's and I guess that's where the shocking part comes in. Well, not the shocking part, but the embarrassing part comes in, because you have to think about the children of Kim Porter and Sean Combs. You have to think about that this information is put out, and it's kind of like, again, it reads like just passages of afterthoughts. Like you might have a bad day at work, or you might have a bad argument with your partner, and you just jot down some information on a piece of paper, just to let off steam or to let off anger. And that's how it reads. But it is kind of embarrassing, because it's not formulated in the sense that you can actually grasp that this is something from what Kim Porter would write down. But again, as he stated, these passages or this information was given to him by his source, quote marks, his source connected to Kim Porter. So do with that as you will. What I would say, from 1 to 10, this book, I would give it about a 3. Maybe a 3.5 on a good day. Embellishment, heavy on the embellishing part, but nonetheless, it is a good read. So again, I would encourage everyone, before you just kind of like run away and take what other people are saying as far as this book being fake, just read it, research it, and come to your own conclusion. But once again, it is very interesting. It's very entertaining. And it's funny. Not in a good way. Not as in haha. But it's funny because it's unbelievable. It's some of the stuff that is like actually put in this book. Again, connecting other entertainers. So that's it. That's all I have. Thank you so much for joining me tonight at the Billy Flynn Experience. Once again, I am Billy Flynn. You're coming here live from Germany. Look forward to being with you again. Enjoy your rest of the weekend and have a very, very productive week. Be with you again soon. Take care.
Go on, you've got another 5 seconds. Say something outrageous.
You dirty bastard.
Go on, again.
You dirty fucker.
What a clever boy.
What a fucking rotter.
Well, that's it for tonight.